Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by Ace Ticket, by Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin', by Kevin Hart's The Wedding Ringer, in theaters January 16th, by Verizon Fios, making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. And by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Bruins begin the night in playoff position in the Eastern Conference. Starting goalies brought to you by your New England Audi dealers. Experience the new Audi A3 with legendary Audi Quattro all-wheel drive tonight. Corey Schneider has allowed 2 or fewer in more than half of his starts. He's 12-6-2 in those games. Nicholas Svedberg in his last 4 starts, .921 save percentage, still working on rebound control. Bruins got a sparkling effort out of Tuukka Rask last night. He was aided by a couple of shots by Pittsburgh that hit the post, but as any goalie will remind you, off the post isn't even a shot on goal. Lou Lamoriello back behind the bench of the New Jersey Devils. Peter DeBoer recently dismissed. Scott Stevens handles the defense. Adam Oates the offense. The game is on. Last night it wasn't the traditional roll 4 lines and 3 deep pairs. Claude Julien juggled up the personnel and shortened his bench.
Yeah, and you can describe it any way you want, Jack. You're looking for a sense of urgency, maybe a little desperation, but as a coach at this level, you do what you got to do to win hockey games. Sometimes it requires shortening the bench, even though you like to roll that 4-line 60 formula. Find out the guys that are going, the guys that are playing well, give them more shifts, more ice time, and hope that they produce, and that's exactly what the Bruins got.
Off Martin Havlat's stick, the puck takes a wild carom and flips into the Zamboni entrance.
And I'll tell you something, Jack, if you're inside that top 9, you love it.
Yeah.
You like going every third.
And it's healthy competition for that top 9. Milan Lucic took the pregame 3-on-2s with Patrice Bergeron and Daniel Paille. Claude Julien looking for some combination that's going to give this team the spark it definitely will need in the second half of the season. Seidenberg to Riley Smith. He knocks down Dina Zubras. Carl Soderberg. Michael Ryder takes it off his stick and slides it wide. Seidenberg bumps hard into John Merrill. Seidenberg wins the puck on the end boards. Let's go Bruins. The early chant from the 17,565. Riley Smith swivels the puck to the corner. Soderberg at the hash marks tries to get it to the dot and does to Kelly. Smith chops at it. Zubras blocks that. Fraser makes the pivot against Kelly. Hamilton jumps forward to win the puck from Ryder, and we've got a hooking call here.
Yeah, it's going to be on Michael Ryder, I believe, because Dougie Hamilton got good body position, stepped inside him.
Penalty number 17, 2 minutes hooking.
If you're a winger, you got to know what that defenseman is on the opposing team, and don't let him get inside position down the wall. Ryder on the offside, a right-handed shot, playing that left wing position. Just didn't have enough awareness to have the body position. Stick gets in the way, and the Bruins with an early power play opportunity.
Although the Bruins haven't scored a power play goal in their last 2.
The power play stats are brought to you by Echo Store Technology.
They are 5 for 17 in their last 8 games. Torrey Krug quickly off the boards. Krejci holds to Lucic. The one touch by Chara and a save by Schneider. Krejci along the line. Krug to Krejci at the top of the umbrella. The wrist shot and a save by Schneider.
That's what you like to see from your power play, a confidence about it. Move the puck, make the right plays, the high percentage plays early in the power play. Get into that umbrella formation. That's a simple low blow. You're working from high to low out of the goal line. Lucic tries to find Chara right at the top of the crease. And then you try a shot from the point with Chara running the screen on the drive by Krejci.
David Pastrnak wins the puck battle on the boards. Krejci to Krug. The quick pivot to get down to the corner past Elias and Green. Chara forward to the goal line to Krug. Back to Chara in front for Pastrnak. But he can't get the shot cleanly off. Andy Green whales it down the ice. Svedberg takes a swipe at it, and it was almost outside that trapezoid. Torrey Krug gives off to Krejci. He can't kick to the stick. Krejci makes the turn. Tim Sestito gets a piece of him. Henrique gets possession, and that's tripping.
Wow.
There's your threshold for the night.
Now the Bruins are trying to hit the late man coming through the neutral zone on the power play breakout. And when the pass is in David Krejci's skates, he has to kind of do a one-man regroup right along the center ice red line. He's protecting the puck with one hand. And just that little bit of stick work sends Sestito to the penalty box. And the Bruins, what an opportunity. How many 5-on-3s have they had this year, John?
Not a lot. Chara and Hamilton out at the points. Man in front is Soderberg. Chara tries to step into it. Zajac blocks the puck, brings it up ice. He's got Green jumping up into the play. Green with a chance for a 3-on-5 bid. And Chara settles things down. So the right shot Bergeron on the left side, and the left shot Smith on the right side with Soderberg in the middle. Bergeron across the zone, but it hops off Smith's stick. Riley Smith runs into the referee down low, and Henrique spanks the puck the length of the rink.
Unforced error right there. Just Riley Smith couldn't get a handle on the puck, and he skated right into traffic. It was the referee that was the traffic.
Bergeron to space, too far forward for Hamilton. 18 seconds to go on the 5-on-3, and the Devils clear again. The Bruins without much. Svedberg almost scoots one into his own goal. That was a blooper of the year waiting to happen. 2 shots in the first part of the power play, and it's now 5-on-4. Krug mishandles it, gets it back. Hamilton swings it down to Krejci. The saucer pass skids back to Krug. Krug's wrist shot. Lucic on the doorstep. Schneider making the save. Zajac takes the puck to the corner. Lucic manhandles him. Krejci back to Krug. Krug's drive goes off of Helgeson in front. Hamilton to Krug. Krug across the zone to Krejci. Krejci to Hamilton to Krug. The one-timer hits Lucic. The rebound off Lucic. And he knocks it right into Corey Schneider. 15 seconds to go in the penalty to Tim Sestito.
Just not sharp enough with the early part of this 5-on-3. It's a missed opportunity. You really don't even get a number of good looks. First time they try to go back to Chara for one time, and that was disrupted by Zajac. Now they get the 5-on-4, and they're looking for opportunities. This one kind of gets away from Krug a little bit. Catches Lucic up by. The chance for a second chance opportunity was there, but it disappeared quickly.
Bergeron and Zubris on the face-off, and they'll Redrop. Ruled an unfair drop, so Zubras wins it back. Adam Larson zings it down the ice. Sestito on his feet and in the gate with 5 seconds to go in the penalty. 2 additional shots on the second power play for the Bruins. They can't take advantage. Scott Gomez getting another chance off to Jaromir Jagr, throws it on Svedberg, and it's in and out of the crease off of the Boston goalie. Kelly ahead to Soderberg. Soderberg lugs it past Jagr. He's so strong on the stick, he disrupts it. Zidlitsky on the end boards. Jagr up the wall, but not out. Seidenberg shot off a body. Kevin Miller jumps down, pokes it around. Merrill goes to work. Kelly swipes it back, but the puck explodes over Seidenberg's stick. Back into the zone. Gomez spins off the Riley Smith hit. Comes laterally to Merrill, up to Jagr over the blue line. Miller backhands it into Kelly's skates, and he settles things down. Craig Cunningham has a little bit of space, trying to get away from the stick work of Tim Sestito. Jordan Tutu off the end boards, rattles it around. Caron to Cunningham, down through the corner. Tutu knocks it into the middle. Caron bumps Sestito, tries to fire it in deep. Larson will settle things down. Sestito gets the puck in deep. Svedberg reverses past Tutu. Caron out into the neutral zone, but Fraser takes it on the giveaway. Helgeson, 4 years at the University of Minnesota. Got a full season in the AHL last year. 6'5" and about 220. Big body. Marchand hits the brakes, gives off to Seidenberg. Good stick work around Elias. Pasternak on the doorstep tip. McQuaid jumps down to the hash marks. Pasternak gets flattened into the end boards on Fraser's hit. McQuaid fires it on Schneider. Elias out of his own zone, center circle. Mike Camilleri gives back to Elias. Tries to drag it over the line and loses possession. Elias gets inside McQuaid. A wild carom off of Zajac's shot. And Svedberg makes the stop deep in his crease. Elias to Zajac. Merrill along the line. Zidlitsky draws Pasternak. That's Zidlitsky for Zajac at the dot, and he fires it just wide.
A nice experienced play out high. 2-on-1. They 2-on-1 the young kid Pasternak. Got a pretty good opportunity as a result.
It's off Marchand's skate. Pasternak, hands close together, swiveling it through the seam. Krejci stick handles over the line. He's got Krug going to the net. Marchand patient with the puck. High slot, the shot knocked down in front, loose. Pyatt couldn't pick it up. Marchand gets a nice rebound, fires it right towards Schneider. And the Bruins continue to take the play to the New Jersey end. 0-0, about 7 minutes in at TD Garden. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Active points leaders in the NHL. The top 3 all have played for the Bruins, but we're talking about the most recent to become a member of the 1,000-point club, Patrick Elias, 19th season, and what a tremendous all-around player.
Yeah, pretty underrated guy, really, when you talk about some of the great players in this game for a long period of time. He's had good longevity. His hockey awareness, his smarts allows him to play at his size and to be as durable as he is and as consistently productive as he's been.
You get him talking about slowing down the game. Be ready for some precious commentary. There's a crazy bounce off of Stanchion. Smith can't get to it before Adam Larson does. Kelly to Soderberg, high slot, but he couldn't handle the hot pass.
That was in by his right skate. It wasn't out where the blade of the stick was, and it exploded off his foot.
Zubras up to Ryder at the red line. Ryder turns and hacks it down the boards. Svedberg taps it over to Krug. Up the wall, and Kelly has some space. Curls it back. Soderberg takes it away from Zubras, but Smith is across the line early. It's offside.
Love those guys that love talking about slowing down the game. Those are the conversations you love to have. You know, there's a guy on that New Jersey bench right now that's one of the co-coaches in Adam Oates that knew a thing or two about slowing the game down.
And it is brilliant because the emphasis from Pee Wee all the way up is go, 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 go. And you see the magicians like Eliash and Krejci, how they can open up seams. Sometimes just with a shoulder fake, and sometimes actually stopping and letting the rush go by. Yager's backhand deflects. Gomez picks it up forward to the goal line. Yager out of the corner. Paille chops the puck off the boards. Lucic can't pick it up going or coming. Chara holds up the middle of his zone. Bergeron, the good extension, then tape to Lucic up the left wing against Larson. Bergeron coming high and late, fires it off Larson's stick. Paille fishing for it. Andy Green in the corner gets it up to Camilleri.
Yeah, you got a little something going in the offensive end. Why? Chara's breakout pass to Bergeron. Bergeron getting open, Chara executing the play.
Zajac to Eliash, the one-timer. All the way out to Caron. Eliash taps the puck back inside the zone. Seidenberg over to McQuaid. Seidenberg off Eliash's stick and up and out of play.
Take your game viewing experience to a whole new level with the Garden Greats suite rental package presented by your Boston area Volvo dealers. Watch the game with a Bruins legend and score seating for up to 24 guests, all-inclusive food, beverage, and more. Visit bostonbruins.com/Garden Greats or call 617-624-1847.
Gregory Campbell, Jordan Caron on his left, and Craig Cunningham on his right. Sedlitsky. Fraser draws Cunningham. Sedlitsky the dart. And 2-2 dumps it to Seidenberg's corner. It's underneath. Seidenberg clawing at the puck. 2-2 comes up with it. Hard back to Fraser, who handles it nicely. Gives over to Sedlitsky to drive. Some good traffic in front as Roots, who got in the way of Svedberg, but also took the puck with him. Sedlitsky D to Fraser, gives up ahead for Sestito, who felt Hamilton coming. Caron after the bouncing puck, bumps hard against Fraser, separates him from it. Campbell holds out near the blue line off Fraser's stick. Caron in front for Cunningham. Good deception by Caron, looking one way and then quickly swiveling the other.
Yeah, it had to be deception because that play wasn't there.
Ryder over the spoke B. Chara with the extension, the poke check. Pasternak on the counter. Pasternak off of Larson's stick, up and out of play. But the Bruins alert to the possibilities of transition, something we haven't seen a whole lot of this season.
Yeah, and it was Chara with the great length of the stick and the poke check that started it. And prior to that was this play right here by Caron. It was surprising that that puck really got to Cunningham on that little backhand pass. It was a nice play. But there's the stick work by Chara. Now the quick transition. Pasternak gave some thought to maybe throwing that back diagonal to David Krejci, but the back check was there, and then when he wanted to get the shot, Larson closed on him nicely.
Marchand keeping the puck in close and protecting it in traffic across the zone to Miller. The shot off a body, and Larson swivels the puck into the corner. Martin Havlat gives it away to Krejci just past his own blue line. Ryder takes Krejci down. The crowd looking for a call based on that early threshold. And this one is not coming. Marchand again protecting the puck. Havlat puts the body on him. Marchand slides it to Krejci, coming all the way to the blue line to make himself available. His pass right to Andy Green of New Jersey. Now Ryder over the red line, peels off after dumping in. Lucic and Bergeron swing to the right. Krug has an opening on the left, goes north and south to Paille. Lucic driving to the front of the goal. Paille's pass deflects to Hamilton. A bomb up around the ears, goes off high glass. Scott Gomez curls it back to Merrill. Through Gomez. Bergeron off Gomez's skates. Gomez off Bergeron's stick. Paille's shot hits Helgeson's stick and deflects up and out of play. Shots on goal are 9-3 for Boston past the midpoint of the first period. Twisted but true fact of the game. Consider all the variables, the injuries guys have, and 3 of them tonight arrived at the 700-game milestone in their NHL careers. Chris Kelly on the left, Patrice Bergeron in the middle, and Mike Camilleri on the right. As many goals as Camilleri has scored, and he's had a ton of them. The thing you remember most about it is getting traded between the second and third periods when Montreal was playing in this building. One of those moments that only happens in hockey. Larson draws Soderberg and then gives across to Andy Green. Green past the red line and skids off of Seidenberg's skate right back to Elias. McQuaid to Soderberg. Larson into the center circle. Serial turnovers here. The Bruins try to make the most of this as Kelly gets underneath Larson. Larson lets him play the puck first, then takes it away. Camilleri holds, reverses off the boards. Larson on the turn, skies it out to center. New Jersey will change up again. Seidenberg to McQuaid. McQuaid past Bergeron. Schneider knocks it down. Lucic through the corner against Merrill. Paille pokes it over to Lucic. Merrill bats it out of the center. Bergeron scrapes the puck back to Chara. Loads up the quick release drive. Tipped on the way through, and Schneider knocks it down and covers.
Catching all new Instigators tonight at 10:30 following NESN Sports Today. Jack, Billy, and I will debate our midpoint MVP candidates, the mess that is the Maple Leafs, and the future of David Pastrnak. The gloves come off tonight on the Instigators, presented by the Electric Supply Center, driven to help you compete.
Well, he's back. Pastrnak.
Yeah, by all accounts, he had an impressive World Junior Tournament.
Scored an absolutely filthy goal on a brilliant move. And Bruins fans were tweeting, wow, that's a Bruin who just did that. Not necessarily a blood and guts goal. Tough night so far for the on-ice officials. We've had the puck find them a couple times already. Miller up the boards. Pastrnak in traffic. Krejci swivels the puck across the Boston zone, and again New Jersey will change out, conceding the attacking zone. Pasternak's long shot, and Schneider makes the save. Pastrnak fans as he bats at it. A one-timer. Krejci hammering Marchand's pass high. Here's Marchand with a steal inside the attacking zone. Zidlitsky spoons it over to Jágr. Chara uses the huge reach again. Hamilton holds inside the Boston zone. Gomez in pursuit.
It looked like that puck just kind of rode up the blade of his stick on David Krejci, and that puck just kind of took off.
Merrill bounces it to Gomez. Gomez pulls up on the boards, swings it around. Chara accelerates it past Henrique. He goes past Gomez. Green recovers in the neutral zone. Now it comes off Larson, and here comes Paille showing his speed on the forecheck. Lucic can't bring the puck along with his skates along the board. McQuaid up to the blue line. It pops up in the air, and it's offside.
The Bruins and the Massachusetts State Lottery are giving you a chance to win big in 2015 with the new Bruins Instant Ticket. You can instantly win one of 10 $50,000 prizes, or enter the second chance drawing for the opportunity to compete for $25,000. The new Bruins Instant Ticket, now available in stores across Massachusetts.
Tim Sestito, Tuomo Ruutu, and Jordan Tutu. So Ruutu and Tutu on the wing. Perron working out of the corner. Green around behind his net, bangs it off the boards. McQuaid keeps it in the attacking zone. Campbell squirts it loose. Tutu's there, the hard backhand off glass. McQuaid taps to Campbell. Up to the attacking line, and Caron knocks it in deep.
Yeah, this has been a hard period for Svedberg. You know, a lot of standing around, a guy that hasn't played a lot of hockey. And then you get a guy like Jágr who gets one chance, and you got to be ready.
Just 3 saves so far for Nicklas Svedberg. Torrey Krug works it straight up and out of the zone. Now gives to Campbell. Campbell chucks it around. Merrill having trouble getting the puck past Kelly. Kelly takes the puck to the end board. Riley Smith, the self-pass off the kick plate, bangs it through to Miller. Miller holds down low for Smith. Back to Miller. Goes intentionally wide. It falls right to Soderberg. He turns to the circle off the skate of Smith. The rebound from Kelly, and Schneider stays on his line. Soderberg. Zajac separates him from the puck, but Kelly's there in support. Soderberg picks it up off Zajak's deadwood. Soderberg backhanding it into the middle. Kelly's shot saved by Schneider. The Bruins getting attacking zone time, but still unable to capitalize. Tilting the ice against New Jersey. Schneider's keeping zeros on the board.
Let's break the puck out with good decision-making and execution. They're a very good team. You got Lucic going to break to the boards. You're going to have Pye come and fill the middle, and then Bergeron, who starts the breakout, he also is going to find open space. And as this play develops, it's about that decision-making and it's about that execution. And here's what Chara's looking. I got a play in here. I can find Bergeron underneath. Tape-to-tape pass, speed out of your own zone, speed through center, push the puck wide, net drive, all on display, and it starts with a quality breakup.
Torrey Krug forward to the hash marks. Krejci tries to spin the backhand. Pasternak's shot, and Schneider covers it up.
Pretty good job there for Pastrnak to get his stick underneath Zubris and get a shot away. Starts with a face-off win. Nice job by Krejci. And after he wins the draw, he quickly rotates to the net. Krug's going to take the puck down low. And Bruins trying to get bodies to the net. Pastrnak, he's going to find this puck. That's a good, strong stick. That's good offensive instincts and skills. Schneider had to be ready.
Bruins bringing pressure to Schneider's cage all first period. Pastrnak chips the backhand to the end boards. Marchand absorbs the hit from Zubris to keep it deep. Krejci finds a seam, brings it all the way back to Miller. Miller reverses and charges past Zidlitsky. Zubris gives it away to Marchand, bounces it back to Krejci. He couldn't get the puck flat. Miller turns and belts it down the boards. Razor leads out Zubris. Zubris around Krejci. Ryder can't bring the puck over the line. Zubris has to regroup in the neutral zone with Ryder forward of the blue line. Devils change out their forwards. Fraser gives back to Larson. A little hop in his stride. Cuts away from Bergeron and speeds up the right wing. Off Paye's stick and rattles around back of the goal. Chara takes down Jágr. And Dougie Hamilton picks up the puck on the far side. Paye hops over it, gathers it, gives it back to Lucic, and Andy Green just sprays it off the corner glass to get that thing the heck out of danger.
Yeah, good look by Dougie Hamilton, fresh off the bench. Miller goes off, he comes on. Nice pass up the left wing boards, and a heads up play by Paye to let the puck go by him, pick it up indirect.
Bergeron whacks it around to the backhand. Lucic trouble from Henrique, who gets it to the corner. Chara erases Gomez there. Bergeron taps to Hamilton. Hamilton has space and takes it. Up to Cunningham. He runs into Helgeson's check. Helgeson bounces it back for John Merrill. Campbell bumps him. Campbell at the hash marks off Caron's skates. Helgeson flips a tumbler all the way down into the Boston slot. McQuaid indirect for Caron. He's got Campbell alongside. Caron tries to angle in, and Fraser puts him down. Campbell taps back to McQuaid. McQuaid holds, tape to Campbell. Campbell spins it on Schneider and hops up, and Schneider cuddles it to take the face-off with 2.5 to go in the first.
You know, we like to show highlights of great saves, good goals, exciting plays, but here's why Bergeron is so valuable. He understands leverage. I mean, that's a battle. That's a puck battle. That Jágr wants that puck badly. And wins a lot of those battles because he's got real great strength. But Bergeron shows leverage, positioning, and then a smart play. You cannot underestimate the value. And if you're sitting on the bench and you're a young kid like Pastrnak and you watch that, if you're paying attention and you see that, you say, I can incorporate that into my game to make me a better NHL player.
Well, we've heard you say it to many, many young players. What's the most important thing? The puck. Win it, your team has a better chance in every sequence. Miller gloves the puck down at the line, flips it in deep. Soderberg steals from Green. Green gets it back and feeds Zubras slowly across the zone. Havlat flips it out, but New Jersey not making plays out of its own zone. The Bruins with a lot of possession in the first period. Good zone time and a 15-3 lead on the shot board. Miller up past the red line. Smith backhands it. Soderberg tries to cut the corner, flips it in front, but Kelly can't get there before Larson.
It's a heads-up play. Throw a puck to an area in the offensive zone.
Soderberg bounces it past Kelly. Yager sweeps it away from Schneider. Green in front of his own goal to Havlat. Yager cuts back, takes the hit from Soderberg. Havlat leaves it in space, but Kelly's making Yager fight for every inch, maybe a little bit too much. It's holding against Chris Kelly with 1:32 to go in the first.
Yeah, it looks like Yager's going to the box.
Oh, Yager. My goodness.
Yeah, it looked like Kelly had better position on Yager when there was a battle for this loose puck. Kelly's going to kind of get out in front of him. I mean, you could probably just let that go. I mean, there's probably nothing there. If you're going to call something, maybe you call them both, but tough call again going against Jersey. I guess the one negative, if you can call it that, Jack, in this first period, was the Bruins early in the hockey game, maybe just not sharp enough given their schedule, the travel, and everything else. Back-to-back games where they had the 5-on-3, the lengthy 5-on-3, the 5-on-4 follow-up. But they're more into the game now. They're sharper. See if they can do something more with their power play.
Third power play of the first period. Oh, my head. Krejci wins it away from Sestito. Krug darts to the middle of the line, gets away from Sestito, closes the shot. Does not get through. Larson loses his stick for the second time in the first period. Lucic slides the puck back to Krejci along the line to the rotating Krug. Back to Krejci in the middle to Lucic. Wanted a one-timer, but had to take it on the backhand. He scores! Milan Lucic with a dart. It's his first goal in 10 games. And Boston is up 1-0.
He's a different player. We saw him make a couple of great plays last night. Instrumental on a pair of Bergeron goals, including the winner in OT. If you're going to play power play, you just can't kind of stand around. You got to be active, and he's very active here. He gets out on that right flank. He's part of that high umbrella. He wanted the one-timer. It wasn't there from Krejci. He moves his feet, and by moving more to his left, what does it do? It opens up a bit of an angle to the net. Chara with a great screen. Pasternak in that power eye where he's a little higher in the slot. Maybe get a redirect in that area.
Marchand closes, goes for the backhand, loose through the crease. Into the final minute. Marchand scoots through the corner, wiggles on Zajac, who belts him. Marchand stays with it across just past Camilleri's reach, and Seidenberg gets it on goal. Fraser up the middle, Camilleri curls it on his stick and slides it down the wing. Seidenberg trying to get away from Elias. Off the end boards. This is a crazy carom, and it goes back to the corner. Elias slides it back to Merrill on the blue line. Mishandles the puck. Marchand flips to Bergeron. Still about 25 seconds to go in the period. Gomez turns the goal. Final 15 seconds of the period. Gives over to Yager. Yager cuts back over the spoked B. And this is offside with about 7 seconds to go in the period. Lucic from Krejci and Krug on the power play.
Yeah, and the only question is that the puck deflect off Zdeno Chara. Maybe the overhead will give us a little bit more insight as to how this puck went in, if it does touch Chara or not. But you know, when you have a leader like Chara and you got a guy like Lucic that could really use a goal right now.
Yeah.
I think that's all yours, 17. Well, a better power play, a sharper power play, Jack. Something we thought may have happened because the Bruins were far more into the game. But, boy, Jersey, Boston made them look old and slow that period.
Dale, it's the fewest shots the Bruins have allowed in a first period all season. And they finally get paid off for all their effort, out shooting New Jersey 18-3 in the first to lead 1-0 after 20 minutes.
Jack, probably exactly what the Bruins were looking.
Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by Amica Insurance, now with new lower auto insurance rates for Massachusetts drivers. By K-Bear, your wings throughout New England. By Subaru of New England. And by TD Bank, America's most convenient bank. Bruins lead the New Jersey Devils 1-0 at the end of the first period. Teams returning to the ice in anticipation of the second, alongside Andy Brickley, with Garen Austin at ice level and our NESN production crew. I'm Jack Edwards. The road ahead brought to you by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Visit sullivantire.com/road ahead. Love a Saturday matinee at Philadelphia. The most bipolar sports fans in the universe will show up 18,000 some strong to yell at the Bruins for 2.5 hours. We hope you'll join us at 1 o'clock on Saturday. And then, hard to believe that Bruins have played more than half a season by the time they face the Tampa Bay Lightning for the first time. If you caught Tampa Bay's game at Montreal a couple of nights ago, holy smokes, that is a really good hockey team. And we can't wait to see Steven Stamkos and the Lightning come into this building. We'll have that one for you on NESN as well. Game summary brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. And Brick, you know, as we track zone time, and it's an objective measurement. It's where the puck is. The puck was in the New Jersey defensive zone more than half the first period. 10 minutes and 30 seconds. That's an unbelievable number. Carl Soderberg off the apron. It comes right up the slot and all the way back to the Boston zone on the frictionless ice. Whoop, mishandle. Back of the goal from Miller. And Kelly saves the day, whacking it away from Camilleri, who's a sniper. Soderberg with speed down the wing, goes right around Fraser, goes to the backhand, tries the wraparound, but Schneider shuts the door on him.
Nice play defensively first by Kelly to free this puck up after a mishandle down low. And when that happens, you got to protect the house. That's a good read and react defensively. Not cheating, not looking for a quick breakout, not thinking neutral zone, thinking protect the defensive zone first, and that allowed Soderberg to come over, just pick up speed, and just, without even a fake, take the puck to the outside, beat your man, try the wraparound.
Krejci on the faceoff against Travis Zajac. Marchand at the top of the circle. Zajac wins it straight back. Adam Larson indirect for Havlat, but Seidenberg keeps the puck in the attacking zone for the moment. Zajac out to Elias. Flips it off the boards and pursues against Seidenberg. He goes D-to-D to McQuaid, quickly to Krejci, coming deep in the defensive slot. Pastrnak knocks the puck in front of the Boston bench. Green gets it through Krejci's stick. Here's Elias dragging it against Seidenberg, swiveling to the backhand, getting knocked down and kicked in the head as Marchand was getting back, and Elias was in a compromised position. Inadvertent collision, but Elias could have really come away with that with a nasty thing. Krejci wrists it over to the far boards. Havlat chops it past Chara.
Yeah, Elias wanted that stick between the legs call against Seidenberg, but didn't get it.
The can opener, yeah. Hamilton off the boards. Lucic into Larson's legs. Jágr with the extended reach. Henrique tape to tape to Gomez. He fires it on Svedberg, who controls the rebound nicely to the corner. Hamilton can't get it out of the zone, though. Jágr back to Zidlinsky. Wrists it for Henrique. Chara gets away from Jágr, draws Gomez, and gives over to Hamilton. Instead of going north and south after Chara had beaten two with the pass, Hamilton goes back to the captain.
Exactly right, and you said it perfectly. You beat two guys. That's when you move it quick up ice.
Is there maybe sometimes too much deference in Dougie Hamilton's game to Chara?
No, I think it's just a guy that's still trying to figure things out. You know, he's having a good year. He's developing nicely, but he's still a young guy. That's, you know, decision making becomes, you know, it's all about maturing as a player.
No, the future is extraordinarily bright for Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, he's thinking, well, I didn't think I had an outlet.
Yep.
I didn't feel like I had a pass to make, so I try to make a smart play and go back to my partner.
By the way, if he had been a college player, he'd be a junior right now. There's Dougie, Gregory Campbell looking for Caron in front, but he loses his edge. Tuomo Ruutu sets up middle for the backhand. Oh, the glass reverberates back of the goal. Ruutu loves hits like that, and Miller took it all. And he loves it. When Kevin Miller is physically involved, he is a beast to play with and against.
Yeah, you know the hit's coming. You absorb the hit in order to do what? Not lose possession.
Caron chucks it back to the corner. And you talk about playing the man's game. That is what Kevin Miller's game is all about. The burlier it gets, the more he likes it. Soderberg tosses the puck down through the corner. Schneider nudges it along. 2-2 unable to get the puck past Seidenberg. Kelly on the rotation, the wrist shot and a leg stop on the puck going wide. And quickly Soderberg fires it right on goal. Here's Miller absorbing the hit.
Yeah, well, the Bruins had an opportunity up ice. A nice play by Campbell and Caron, who couldn't get the shot away. And then New Jersey in transition trying to get a little forechecking going. And you had Ruutu come in and make contact. Miller's just going to eat it up. Not going to turn that puck over. This Chara drawing two Devil players to him. And it looked like Hamilton had that play right up the middle, where the Bruins have made a number of nice passes here this evening, coming out of their own zone, using the middle of the ice. It appeared to be there. Hamilton didn't think so. Went back to Chara.
Michael Ryder nudges the puck up the wing. Seidenberg with Zubras going into the corner with elbow high. Astronaut takes it away from Ryder. Camilleri pivots it off the boards. Marchand with good back pressure to break it up. Seidenberg bounces it to the corner. Zubras. Krejci takes it away inside the line, but the puck goes off the corner glass and up into the stand.
This Saturday afternoon at 12 on Big Bad Bruins Live, presented by DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. Check out the latest installment of Pee Wee Saturday as the North Shore Vipers girls will join us. And then assistant GM Don Sweeney's in the spotlight for the Bruins Small Talk. Stay on top of everything Bruins every week, all season long.
Bruins are 20, 50, and 6 through the first half of the season. And the rule of thumb is you have to have at least, here's Hamilton's drive deflects, have to have at least 10 more wins than regulation losses to put yourself in contention for that number 8 slot in a conference. So as of the moment, it's going to be a wire shot for the Bruins. Kelly knocks the puck around Fraser, drops it off to Soderberg. Havlat backhands it all the way down on Svedberg. Chara off the end boards, gets underneath Hamilton's stick. Zajac to Havlat, can't get it past Chara, gets the bounce to come right back to him. Havlat off Chara's stick, and Smith finds Kelly out of the zone.
It's just a great equalizer that Chara has. The reach and the stick position, the breakup plays right when you think you got something happening in the offensive zone.
Helgeson toe picks in center ice. Lucky for him, the puck doesn't go to a Bruin. Yager to Henrique, and Bergeron breaks up the pass intended for Gomez far side. Gomez comes out of the near corner. Merrill steps up. Yager kicks to the stick, wiggles it away from Bergeron. Gomez down low. Henrique right to Paille, and the Bruins can counter. Lucic gets a little too far forward on his blades, but recovers. Now Paille tries to go around Merrill, who keeps good body position, but Lucic is right there, shoveling to Bergeron, but Elias is checking him. Gomez bounces it past the line. Bergeron holds and risks it around through the corner. The Bruins change out. The Campbell line comes on the ice. Helgeson to Merrill. Sestito wobbles it to the corner. Miller and 2-2 blast into the end boards. Larson over to Green. The wrist shot skips wide. Sestito out near the blue line. Low for Tutu to Ruutu. Tutu can't pick up the puck in front. Miller, the good hip check to knock Tutu off the puck, but it slides to Sestito. Campbell stays with it. Cunningham, the self pass around Green. Larson with Perron coming all the way across the ice to finish his check.
The Bruins have had good layers tonight, Jag. We used to talk about that, about this Bruins team. When they get on a roll and they're playing well, it all starts in their own zone, and they have those layers defensively.
Campbell in front for Caron, but it skips all the way to the boards. Chara fires it in, but Larson knocks it back to the blue line. Chara for Hamilton, deflects off of Larson and wide. Cunningham on the backhand. Campbell out high. Campbell holds. Here's Hamilton's drive and a glove save by Schneider. 12:53 to go, second period. New Jersey hanging around despite getting outshot 20-4. Richmond free zone play. Jaromir Jagr, standard def. First career hat trick with Pittsburgh against the Bruins in 1991 and his 15th Saturday against the Flyers. Not much that Jagr has not done.
Is that 23 years apart?
Pretty good. Miller's one-timer, and Schneider, who has been busy, has the puck in his glove.
Busy and been good.
Yep.
He's tracked the puck well. He's had a lot of traffic in and around that crease area. The Bruins are putting everything towards the goal. You already mentioned the great offensive zone time they've had to this point in the hockey game. They just win a face-off. 2D switch sides. Miller gets set up for the one-timer from Krug.
Krug at the hash marks. Draws Zidlitsky. Saucer pass, and it skips past Krejci. Krejci off the boards. Ryder shoves it forward to Zubras. Zubras gets the puck on edge, rolling it down. Krug takes the hit from Zubras to get it around to Pastrnak. It's off Krejci. Pastrnak can't get through traffic. Miller off the boards to Krejci. Off of Ryder's stick, Krejci flips it cross ice, and Krug will regroup. Miller up to the attacking line. David Pastrnak dribbles it through the circle. Zidlitsky takes it on the diagonal and gives to Fraser. Fraser draws Smith. Smith gets a stick on the puck. Zubras muscles McQuaid off of it. And New Jersey will change as Seidenberg collects. Riley Smith loops the puck down past Zidlitsky. Fraser on the turn, bats it off the end boards. Smith picks it up, back to Seidenberg along the line to McQuaid. McQuaid's wrist shot tippable, but it comes off of Fraser. Havlat coming cross ice, and Smith intercepts. The Bruins shove it right back into the attacking zone where they have spent literally most of the night. Soderberg on the pivot, right to the slot, scores! Carl Soderberg takes matters into his own hands and gives the Bruins an insurance margin.
Well, the ability to beat people one-on-one. Carl Soderberg has it when he's on top of his game. It's just a bad decision. It's a good forecheck by Boston. Kelly pursues the puck, the dump in by Smith, the support by Soderberg, and just this little subtle fake as if he was going to go back down the wall against Zajac. He gets to an open seam. There's too much room in the defensive zone by the Devils. And as Schneider comes off that near post, an absolute wicked wrist shot over the glove.
The Bruins go right back to work in the attacking zone. Paille holds off of Schneider. Lucic going to the net and slipping down in a collision with Larson. Andy Green trying to jump around Paille. Paille wraps him up, and Hamilton's the next layer. Those layers of which you spoke, Brick. There's Larson's wrist shot off a stick and wide. The rebound one-timer, Henry drills it off the corner boards, and it takes a 200-foot bounce.
Second time we've seen Lucic lose an edge there. Got to get those skates checked. Happened to him in the neutral zone and then there in the defensive zone. Led to some puck possession by the Devils in the offensive zone and some point shots.
This is ruled offside. Forrest trivia question. Who won the 2006 Eberle Award as the Beanpot's top goalie? Visit NESN.com/theForce for the answer. and enter to win a $50 gift certificate that can be used at the Fours Restaurant and Sports Bar in Boston, Quincy, or Norwell. Well, we're going to have a little tussle here. Jordan Caron paired up with Jordan Tutu. Pretty good wrestling hold by both. No space. Now, Caron trying to get a hand loose. Tutu in close. Not enough distance to land any blows.
Yeah, this happens right off the draw, Jack, and it looks like it's mutual. I don't know if Tutu had said something trying to get his team going. They got 4 shots on goal halfway through the hockey game. You're down by a pair. You spent the majority of the time in your own zone, but Caron certainly went looking for it in response probably to the conversation before the puck was dropped. Neither player really getting an opportunity to get free. Wrestling match up against the glass, and Caron, who's looking to be a regular in the Bruins lineup, fourth line duty, some energy. I'll tell you, Gregory Campbell's made a number of nice plays as a center on that fourth unit. But Caron locks up with Tutu.
76th fighting major for Jordan Tutu and the 3rd in the career of
That goal season is an assisted goal for Carl Soderberg at 8:31.
McQuaid with Ruutu trying to create a little havoc. Yager, Sestito's shot flips off the end
Number
line.
20, Jordan Tutu, Boston, penalty number 30.
McQuaid wraps it around. Pasternak has Marchand, gives it to the late man, Krejci. Through the legs to Marchand, the shot off Frazier's stick. Wild carom to the far side. Miller goes corner, and there's Ruutu again for another good collision. Miller shields the puck and gets it to Pasternak. Little shoulder fake, turns and throws it on goal. Schneider sticks it to the corner. Marchand, the reversal. Schneider gets a stick on the centering pass, and it floats out to Miller. Krejci rotating back, wrists it down the boards. Marchand flattens it after corralling it. Tries the tight turn against Fraser. Wrists it over to Soderberg. The shot and a save by Schneider. Carl Soderberg trying to wrong foot Corey Schneider. Looking for his second in a couple of minutes.
The exciting rewind is brought to you by Berkshire Bank, where no two customers are alike. 3 looks at the first period power play goal. Late in the first period from Milan Lucic. So much to like about this man advantage setup. The Bruins get into that umbrella up high. Lucic's ability to play power play when he moves his feet is critical to the power play goal. You want the puck in the hands of David Krejci. He's a gifted playmaker, but that subtle little move by Lucic after he takes the pass on the backhand to move back in order to create a shooting lane that allows Pasternak to be in the high slot. Chara to work at the top of the crease for the screen. Well-executed power play goal. Got the Bruins off to a 1-0 lead after a dominant first period.
Vote for your favorite exciting rewind and enter the mortgage sweepstakes. Each month, Berkshire will give away great prizes, and at the end of the season, one winner will have their mortgage paid for a year. Go to NESN.com/Berkshire Bank for details. Life is exciting. Let Berkshire Bank help. Milan Lucic with his 7th of the season. And having a good statistical start to the second half of the season after a miserable first half for him. He said at New Year's that he was glad to put 2014 behind him. Ryder off the boards and now into the Boston zone. Kevin Miller on the turn. Out to Riley Smith off a skate, and it comes all the way down to the New Jersey end. Schneider flips it off the corner board. Adam Larson, Kelly on one side, Soderberg at the other, and Green finds Zubris up and out of the zone. Zubris from behind the red line, no icing though. He weighted it nicely. Krug off a stanchion, bounces down to Larson. The rocket goes wildly wide. Green into the middle looking for Camilleri's redirection. Soderberg backhands through the corner. Smith takes the hit from Camilleri. Goes indirect to Kelly. He's got a breakout 3-on-2. Soderberg to Krug charging up with Soderberg going middle. Krug, a dart off the collarbone of Corey Schneider. The Bruins will change out.
Nice play by Riley Smith on those right wing boards, indirect. Had two Devils on top of him, still able to make that play. Allowed Krug to jump in on the opposite side of the ice, and Krug, that great snapshot.
Let's go Bruins, the chant from the TD Garden crowd. Dougie Hamilton. Lucic has Bergeron charging the net. It's off Bergeron's legs. The pass intended for Paille. Fires it back to Chara. The wrist shot tippable. Saved by Schneider, kicking it back into the slot. Lucic was in a wrestling match. This puck deflects up into the second row. No, make it third.
Tonight, after the postgame show on Nesson. Oh, no, tonight after postgame. What's that say, Jack? Nesson Sports Today?
That's what
I think
it
that's
says.
What they want you to watch, isn't it? Presented by People's United Bank.
Never miss it.
Adam and Al will have more on Bruins game tonight. The reaction from the players, some choice words from Pedro Martinez about a former Yankee, and a complete Patriots report as they prep for the Ravens. Check it out tonight following Bruins coverage.
Daniel Paille with speed. Hamilton's drive off Fraser's stick. Schneider has been in a shooting gallery. Shots on goal are 27-4. One of the most lopsided shot totals we have seen all season long in the NHL. Paille, Denaye. Well, nothing's going in for Daniel Paille. He wears number 20, and he's gone 20 consecutive games without a goal.
He's been better the last two games, though, Jack. And Claude Julien moved him into the top 9 last night in Pittsburgh when he had to shorten the bench playing the off wing. He's had another strong game here tonight, made a number of good plays. He's skating well. He's simplified his game. The Bruins create the turnover. Nice little feed. Dougie Hamilton finds Paille. Paille tried that quick release before Schneider could get set.
This is icing against New Jersey. Well, Lou Lamoriello has tried a lot of different things, but nothing seems to be working tonight, at least. Adam Oates in charge of the offense. Scott Stevens in charge of the defense. It's been a much busier night for Stevens than it has for Oates. Seidenberg wraps the puck around underneath Merrill's stick. Campbell tries to reverse direction. Kelly, the puck bounces out to McQuaid. Seidenberg's wrist shot, and another save by Corey Schneider.
Well, you were certainly looking for this kind of effort from the Bruins tonight to build off that all-important overtime win in Pittsburgh last night. You were looking for their big guys to step up. Lucic gives you a power play goal to get things rolling in the first period. And not allowing New Jersey really to do anything offensively. Great layers, quick ups in the neutral zone, quality breakouts, pucks to the net, good support, skating game. It's the way the Bruins want to play on a consistent basis.
Well, we used the build a fire analogy before the game began, and unfortunately for the New Jersey Devils, they have had all the life of a split log, and they're getting incinerated right now.
Yeah, it's a 2-0 lead on the scoreboard, but it feels like about 6 if you're on that Devils bench right now. They need something to get them going and somebody to get them going.
The Bruins have half as many goals as New Jersey has shots in this game. McQuaid flutters the puck down to the corner. Pasternak gets between Green and Larson to win it. Zajac intercepts off Pasternak's stick. Havlat spoons it down the wall. McQuaid off the end board. Seidenberg on the turn. Tries to carom it past Zajac, but can't. Zajac hasn't come off his forehand, and this puck deflects off McQuaid's clear and comes over the low glass. That's the kind of chance you want as a fan. Not one of those 104-mile-an-hour drives. It's deflected. Takes a wild bounce. Kelly taps back to Krug. Krug right into Zubras's body. Zubras taps in deep. Ryder wraps up Miller. Miller tries to A-frame for a little bit of space. It comes out in front. Soderberg fights through traffic to get the puck to Smith. Smith chips it down toward the corner. Soderberg in pursuit. Krug jumps ahead of Ryder. It comes off Camilleri's stick back to Ryder. He goes indirect all the way to the Boston zone. Miller with Zubras on his back. They have been tangled up 3 times in this period alone. Krug, Kelly, back to Krug. Back to Kelly. Bruins exploiting the 2-on-1s. Finding a way up the ice without a lot of resistance.
Yeah, big fan of the wingers coming low when it's appropriate. Kelly comes low, gives Krug an outlet. They just play catch. They shake the forecheck. They work the puck out. Then they use the weak side defenseman jumping into the play.
Chara muscles it up to Bergeron. Lucic the lateral pass. Bergeron shoves it to Hamilton. Hamilton tries to swivel it back to Bergeron, and here's transition. Scott Gomez with Ryder going up the slot. The saucer pass to Ryder, and Ryder hammers into the end boards as Paille chopped him down. And that, folks, is getting your 2 minutes worth. Because if you're going to foul a guy, make sure that it affects his ability to shoot the puck. The Bruins will be shorthanded when the game resumes.
Well, that's Dougie Hamilton trying to make a back pass in the offensive zone when the Bruins were thinking offense with 4 guys on the rush. It forces Danny Paille to use his speed to get back on the back check on Michael Ryder. He tried to avoid a penalty. Trying to go stick on stick with a little chop, but broke Ryder's stick right in half. He'll go to the box, and New Jersey looking to cut into this 2-0 Boston lead with a power play opportunity.
Pretty forceful move. He was going to alter the shot. Even if he didn't break the stick. And the Bruins clear immediately. Boston has killed 11 straight shorthanded situations in the last 3 games. Zidlitsky flips the puck to the corner. Miller can't keep possession. Havlat to Elias. Marchand lifts his stick. Chara takes the puck away. There are those layers you're talking about all night long, Brick. Miller to Bergeron. Zidlitsky already had surrendered the line to corral the puck in the neutral zone.
Surprised that Zidlitsky would be outside the offensive zone when the puck is that deep.
Power play brought to you by your New England Mazda dealers. Bergeron to the line. Havlat knocks it down. Kelly opposes, and Bergeron makes the clear.
Heads up play by Kelly. Knew Bergeron really didn't have the ability to get a lot on that, so he came clear across the defensive end along the blue line to help.
Larson gives to Gomez, who gallops over the Boston line, drops it off to Ryder. Ryder to Yager. Yager down low to Gomez right in front. And Merrill coming in the weak side. Can't get it on goal. Yager slides the puck to Gomez. Gomez into Yager, skates on the half boards, indirect. Back to Larson. Larson to Yager, top of the circle on Chara and Kelly's side of the ice. Yager down to the goal line. Gomez turns off the half boards into Chara's skates. Kelly brings it up. Cunningham jumping up on the play, and Chara coming late. There's the big triangle. Chara tries to go forehand, backhand, just takes the puck to the boards. 10 seconds to go in the penalty kill, and that'll pretty much erase it.
Well, they had the 3-on-2, but Cunningham needed to get to the bench. Did his job, finished off the PK, went for the bench with the puck up ice.
Gomez off the pipe behind Svedberg and out. It would not have been a power play goal. Back to 5-on-5 here. Krejci scooting around past Larson. Krejci holds on the far boards, chips it ahead to Paille. Paille reverses, tries to lose Sestito. Campbell in the corner. Back to McQuaid. Outside the line. Seidenberg will jam it in. The Bruins tag up, get back on side. So little resistance from New Jersey. It's astonishing. How many chances have the Devils had to put a body on a Bruin, and they've just let him skate by? Henrique over the line. Henrique picks it up. The shot rattles off a couple of bodies. Henrique picks it up. Brings it back to Fraser. The wrist shot. Seidenberg on the block as he was jamming with Sestito in front. Green kicks it forward to Sestito. The backhander off of Krejci's stick. Seidenberg Zubris drags him down. Ruutu steps through traffic, whips it back to Fraser. The wrist shot deflected, and Svedberg reaches out with the left leg. Ruutu, this is as much zone time as New Jersey's had in a long time, maybe in the entire game.
Yeah, when they get the power play, they got a couple of good looks. Merrill couldn't handle the pass from Gomez, and Gomez hits the post after the power play.
What a move by Zidlinski coming laterally through the zone. Zubris bangs away, and Svedberg is in good position to make the stop. Less than 2 minutes to go in the second, and New Jersey's starting to find a rhythm. Zubris. Krejci bounces off. Zubris works it to Zidlinski on the half wall. Camilleri and McQuaid. Zubris holds on the goal line. Zidlinski over to Green. The wrist shot. A high slot tipped by Ruutu, and it goes off the end glass. Marchand knocks down Zidlinski, and the Bruins finally clear.
Yeah, Bruins got to finish this period off right. You got a minute to go. They stopped making plays. A good example is that Campbell had the puck. He just banked it off the boards into the neutral zone, allowed Jersey to get right back in the Bruins' end. Keep making plays.
Soderberg works it forward, but Larson takes it away just inside the New Jersey line. Green up to Zajac. Zajak's backhander, and it bounces wide. Havlat to Larson, the one-timer. Svedberg never saw it, just missed the post by a few inches. Hamilton all over Green, but Green does a nice job to keep it in the attacking zone. Still 35 seconds to go in the period. The Bruins have outplayed New Jersey all night long, but New Jersey finding something late. Bergeron with Lucic on the net drive. Bergeron all the way across the zone. Hamilton down low for Lucic, tries to stuff it in front. Soderberg on the follow. Elias laterally for Havlat. Lucic on the back pressure, breaks up Zajac. Bergeron, Hamilton, Chara in the final 10 seconds of the second period. The Bruins dodge a late bullet from New Jersey. Gomez gives it away to Kelly as the siren sounds. The Bruins lead in a dominating performance, 2-0 after 40 minutes.
A couple of good opportunities for the Devils in the final 3 minutes of this period. Tail end of a power play. Gomez is able to work his way through the neutral zone, get into a shooting position on the forehand, and as Svedberg kind of moves a little bit side to side, it opens up some room on that glove side. And then they had a real good push after that. A number of shots with traffic, just missing the net, where Svedberg didn't even really track the puck because of the traffic that was going on. So that was your push from New Jersey. The Bruins stopped making plays. That was part of the reason, but they got a little life from the power play.
Well, Dale, we'll see if the Bruins can take it up a notch and put this thing away early in the third.
Not sure they haven't already put this one away.
Stanley Buff got me up at 5:45 this morning because no doubt there was a secret message in the 2015 Pucks and Pups calendar presented by the Black Dog. It's available now. Proceeds benefit the Boston Bruins Foundation, and donations will be made to the MSPCA, Angel, and any ADS needs. To purchase, visit bostonbruins.com/pucksandpups or stop by the all-new Pro Shop powered by Reebok, located on level 2 here at TD Garden. Well, maybe it's an insult to dogs to say that the New Jersey Devils have played like dogs tonight. The Bruins have limited them to 7 shots on goal through the first 40 minutes of this game, which is the low allowed by the Bruins through 40 minutes. Moments ago, Rick had a chance to chat with Bruins assistant coach Joe Sakic.
Joe, maybe with the exception of the final 3 minutes of that second period, pretty dominant performance by your club. You know, you've had the good layers defensively. The breakouts have been clean. What have you liked best about your club?
I think our overall execution, it's been real sharp tonight, especially coming off back-to-back games here. And, you know, we got off to a good start in the game. And like you said, for about the first 35 minutes or so, we've done a really good job of controlling the play here. Our decisions have been good with the puck. And, again, this goes back to execution, good breakouts, being able to come out of our zone, exiting out of there clean has made a big difference for us tonight.
I want to go back to the early part of the hockey game. You just mentioned last night, get in late, travel, tough game, overtime against Pittsburgh. You get the early 5-on-3. Was that really a disadvantage because you guys really weren't quite into the game at that point?
It looked like it, but no. I think the best thing about the 5-on-3 was actually how we responded after it. It didn't seem to take any momentum away from us, which it could very easily have done. Our guys responded well after that. We just kept playing. We got back to work 5-on-5, and we started to take control of the game after that.
Good point. Hey, good luck in the third period.
Okay, thanks.
Milan Lucic's 7th of the season and Carl Soderberg's 9th of this campaign have given the Bruins their 2-0 lead. Game summary brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Rick, we've heard you say it before. Don't give them any hope. If New Jersey should get a chinker or a clinker or a weird one, get back in this game 2-1, might just be the wake-up call the Devils are hoping for.
Yeah, and you hope that push by the Devils in the final 3 minutes in that second period keeps the Bruins focused here for what they have to do in the third period. You know, don't expect this team to roll over, even though you've been a dominant team for, about 37 minutes.
Coming into tonight, Florida, which is chasing the Bruins, has 4 games in hand. With that kind of an opponent behind you, with that handful of games and extra points it can win, you would best take advantage of every opportunity you have to finish off an opponent and get the 2.
Yeah, and it's a classic example of control what you can control, and that's your effort here in the third period and the 2 points that are right in front of you.
Andy Green settles the puck. Pastrnak takes it away from Elias. Hamilton up the boards. Pastrnak sweeps it forward. Green up to Elias. Elias into the zone. Pastrnak chopping away at Elias's stick all the way down the boards. Marchand. Elias checks him off the puck, but Chara is right there. He swings it to Hamilton. Up to the attacking line. Pastrnak closes. Hits the brakes, and the D goes right on by. Elias introduces himself to Pastrnak with a good stiff hit.
I think that's a good example right there of the pace of play at the NHL. Even though you play the World Junior, which is world-class, under 20-year-old players, this is the NHL. Things close on you quickly.
It's the unlimited division.
Yeah, and it's not a rink that's, 220 by 120.
Lucic waiting for the puck. Henrique stabs at it. Helgeson chips into the Boston zone. McQuaid, the 100-foot diagonal. Paille racing up the left wing, throws it in front off a defenseman's stick, and Schneider kicks it out. Jágr 3-on-2 with Henrique and Gomez over the line. Jágr on Chara's side. The shot goes off a stick and wide.
Good back check, Bergeron.
How many times have you said that in the last few years?
Oh, it's good tandem work. Yeah. The positioning by Chara, the long reach, it's going to kind of freeze Jágr a little bit, and that allows Bergeron to get there in time.
Zidlecki is how he's pronouncing it this year, so my mistake. It's gone back and forth at least twice during his career. Ruutu to the boards, and Cunningham rides him in hard. Fraser slips it back. Larson snaps the pass to Fraser, the big triangle. Sestito into the Boston zone, and New Jersey gives up possession again. Cunningham hustles down the wing to take Larson's time and space away. Campbell follows with the check on Sestito, and he gets the puck deep. Andy Green. It comes all the way through Miller in the Boston end. Riley Smith giving the slow down signal to Miller. Settle it. Krug takes the space. The saucer pass to Soderberg. Dumps it around Camilleri. Green takes it unopposed. Kelly deflects the D-to-D pass. Miller whacks the backhand to the end boards. Smith wins the race against Green. Picks up the self pass. Swivels it to Soderberg. Can't get the shot off before he runs into Ryder. Krug off Zubris, back past the red line.
Yeah, real good motion in the offensive zone, and even though you don't have puck possession, you're creating turnovers and keeping the play in the offensive end, and Soderberg just missing getting a real good chance in that high slot.
Camilleri one-hands it around Riley Smith. McQuaid rips it through the corner. The Bruins will get fresh legs on the ice again.
Funny reaction by Marchand looking at McQuaid on that dump in. You just missed me, man.
Long run of play to begin the third period here. Havlat at the red line. If you're just joining us across the top of the hour alongside Andy Brickley with Garrett Austin at ice level and our NESN production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. David Pastrnak fires it off the strings wide on the stick side of Corey Schneider. The Bruins have dominated this game territorially. 32 shots on goal to just 7 for New Jersey, as the Bruins, who didn't get back until 1:30 after the overtime win against Pittsburgh, try to put 2 in a row. Pastrnak wide of the dot. Chara's bomb up high and a pretty brave block by Zidlicki. Gomez laterally for Henrique on the off wing. Chara on the block, the rebound off Chara, and Svedberg makes another stop on Henrique. Larson's drive. Svedberg gloves it, sailing wide.
The TD Bank Community Clubhouse and the Boston Bruins would like to welcome Rockport Girl Scouts Troop number 75143 to tonight's game. At TD Bank, they're committed to supporting the communities we serve by making a difference together.
Bergeron and Gomez on the face-off. And Gomez wins it to Jágr. The shot kicked out by Svedberg. Green can't whack it middle. Bergeron 2 against 3. Gives to Lucic, back to Bergeron. He closes. The backhand and a save by Schneider. Jágr chips to Henrique. It goes through Green all the way back to Jágr. Chara tosses forward to Paille. Off Henrique's stick. Bergeron on the check. And Lucic sweeps it forward.
Yeah, well-timed passing play. Lucic delivers that pass to Bergeron at the optimum time and allows Bergeron to get body position and a lane to the net.
McQuaid gives back to Seidenberg. Rips it around. Cunningham across the middle of the Boston zone. McQuaid, the long indirect pass. Jordan Caron closes, finds Cunningham, the shot. And Schneider's helmet comes off as Helgeson was sliding across the slot.
Yeah, Helgeson, I think, blocked that shot, didn't he, before it got to Schneider, and then it was the body contact that knocked his helmet off. It's a great pass right there. The minute Jersey overcommits, and that's Henrique trying to play defense. That's a forward playing D. And when he drifts to the middle where the puck is by Lucic, Lucic moves it perfectly to Bergeron. Is your scoring opportunity. That's a pretty good play there. Nice pass by Caron after the indirect play up the boards through the neutral zone by McQuaid to Caron at the offensive blue line, and then Cunningham comes late. And Joe Sacco talked about decision making and execution was what he liked best through the first 2 periods, and there it was again.
Good habits. New Jersey clearly an inferior opponent, and it requires execution and a professional effort for the Bruins to finish this thing out in the last 14 minutes. Riley Smith protecting from Ryder. Krug's wrist shot. Schneider knocks the puck to the corner. Camilleri right into the skates of Kelly. Krug dancing down from the half boards, tries to pick the top near corner, and Schneider punches it out. Krug holds on the hash marks. Past Smith's range. Miller one-hands the puck to the corner. Zubras takes it away. Bruins with more attacking zone time. Soderberg steps in front patiently, and Schneider robs him. Great save by Corey Schneider. Soderberg again, and Schneider robs him again. It's a crime spree. Merrill in the corner. If not for Corey Schneider, this game is beyond a laugher. He has made several sparkling saves off the Bruins twice in a row there off Soderberg. Miller's shot and a save by Schneider. Camilleri hard off the boards. Ryder past the red line, dumps it in, and New Jersey's players are happy just not to have a minus on that shift. They get the heck off the ice.
Yeah, the game's still going while they're making a change, and it's hard to believe after that shift.
Pastrnak wins the puck away from Fraser, gets it to Krejci. Pastrnak chops it back toward the slot. Elias gives it right to McQuaid. The deflection off Zidlicki's stick. It's got to be a candy endorsement there. Zidlicki's stick, right? Sounds like a Willy Wonka invention. You know, it's just 2.5 hours of free word association here.
Yeah, you're splitting wood and making candy tonight.
They'd preserve my brain after my death if there were anything in there.
You needed to work last night, I think.
That's the null set.
It's looking for their second win in a row. Barry and I back to break it all down for you on Ace Ticket, Bruins Overtime Live.
And a quick turnaround, Dale, with the preview of the Philadelphia Flyers for Saturday matinee game.
Jack and Brick will also talk to Claude Julien on Ace Ticket, Bruins Overtime Live.
Boys, thank you very much. Instigators later tonight. We'll talk about David Pasternak's present and future. Zdeno Chara fires it towards Schneider, in and out of the trapper. Henry, backhand, out to the neutral zone. Chara shoves it forward. Bergeron spins it. It skips past Paille, who chops the puck around through both corners. Bergeron forward to the goal line. Lucic brings it back to Hamilton. Hamilton over to Chara, redirects it into the corner. Paille is there before Larson. Bergeron pursuing. Gomez angles him off. Henrique bounces it out to the blue line. It's off Chara's skate. Gomez 3-on-2 over the line. Too far forward for Jágr to reach it, and that's saying something. Gomez for Jágr in front, and he fires it just wide on the stick side. Lucic across the Boston zone. Chara on the bounce to Bergeron over the red line and softly up ice.
Yeah, just missed. That play happened awfully quick. Jágr on the receiving end of a nice pass from below the goal line. Just missed on the wide side.
Elias flicks it ahead off Zajac's stick. Seidenberg, and Seidenberg off a stick and up and out of play.
Tomorrow on NESN Live, Gary Striewski and Sarah Davis will have all the latest headlines. And former Super Bowl champ Jermaine Wiggins will stop by to break down the Ravens and Patriots. Get the story behind the stories on NESN Live, presented by Cross Insurance. Weekday nights at 5:30.
Zidlicki. Fraser. Zidlicki straight ahead for Elias. It rolls to the corner. Seidenberg fights through, wins the puck. McQuaid up off referee Greg Kimmerly. Soderberg spreads it wide for Kelly. The snapshot goes wide on the glove side of Schneider. McQuaid off Smith's stick right to Zajac. Now Elias sitting on 399 career goals. Zidlicki kicks it forward, and Smith lofts it to the New Jersey end. Kelly backs in, holds off Fraser. Pastrnak gets underneath. Camilleri sets his edges, whips it into the slot. Only Zubras is there. Zubras pulls the puck wide against Kevin Miller. It rides up onto the strings. Svedberg hacks it back to the corner. Helgeson along the line. The backup one-timer from Merrill never gets through to Svedberg. Pastrnak feathers it wide for Marchand. He dekes. Krug gets tied up, going for a shot. Miller slides the puck down the boards. Pastrnak taking the hit from Elias, trying to get it back up the wall. Krejci indirect for Miller. Miller wrists it around. Pastrnak on the receiving end from Zubras, taps it through Zubras' legs, and it trickles to Schneider. 9.5 to go in the game. The Bruins out shooting New Jersey 41-10.
On Bruins Face Off Live, we introduce tonight's Mobile Bruins poll presented by the new Scion TC. Who is the best European-born NHL forward of all time? Reply A for Jaromir Jágr, B for Jari Kurri, C for Stan Mikita, or D for Teemu Selanne. Text your answer to 536-536. Messaging data rates may apply. Text HELP for info and visit NESN.com/terms for terms and conditions and privacy policy. Jack, Rick, who you got?
I think we got to develop some kind of logarithm for these kinds of polls, because so many of our voters weren't even born when Stan Mikita was playing. And taking nothing away from those modern era guys, Mikita was an unbelievably tough yet player who is capable of amazing finesse.
Great player.
Unbelievable
Phenomenal
player.
Yeah, phenomenal player. Blackhawks, just, you know, you talk to players from that generation, they rave about him. You know?
And they should.
Not only talent, but so hard to play against.
Yeah.
You know, to see that 11% number, okay, I get it. You know, nobody really saw that guy play a whole lot. I will say this, having played with Solani, what an impressive individual he was. Not only a great hockey player, but an individual. But it's hard to beat Jagr. I mean, the numbers are there. The longevity and the production is sick.
What did Randy Carlyle say? Well, here's Henrique over the line. Jagr forward of the goal line, working against Chara. Zidlicki in the rotation. Chara knocks it through their legs. Lucic to Paille one-on-one against Merrill. Fires it off the middle apron of the goal. Bergeron picks it up. Scoots it back to Hamilton. Snaps to Chara. The shot trickles all the way through to the crease, and Paille can't hack the backhand past Schneider. What did Carlyle say? Solani scored, I think it was his 500th goal. He said, well, you got 76 your first year in the league. What took you so long? And a great man, too. Elias leaves the puck behind.
And Yari Curry, too, Jack, one of those guys that you have to be a great player to do what he did when you play with what people thought was the greatest player.
Yeah. Curry's English wasn't fantastic when he first came into the league, and George Grand was working for ESPN back there, which was really treating hockey the way it should be treated. They were going all out. It was really the first legitimate sport that ESPN had. And he gives this long question to Curry, and Curry's eyes begin to glaze over. And Curry finally just says, yeah, shoot, goal. But you know what? That's pretty much what he did his entire career. Svedberg makes the save on Green's long wrist shot. I can understand the glazed eyes, folks, because when I start talking about splitting wood, that's my partner right there.
Join Dale and Billy Saturday at 12:30 when WB Mason presents Bruins Face Off Live. They'll preview the game against the Flyers, take a closer look at what's gone wrong yet again down in Philly, and how about the latest NHL news and notes. That's Saturday afternoon, starting at 12:30. You want to just stay in Philly after the game and maybe take a train home later on?
Love that. Love that idea. My daughter's got a track meet in New Haven, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian Sicillo is reminding us there's a football game. Craig Cunningham sprints to the puck in the defensive zone. Zubris took a follow through right in the face. Kevin Miller took one of those last night. Graphically described on NBC. But when you're passing or shooting the puck, you're allowed to follow through, and if it happens to clip a guy, that's tough noogies for him. Zidlicki forward to Henrique. He swivels at the Boston line. 2-2s pass off Bergeron. Stick back to the neutral zone. Flicking towards 6 minutes to go in this one. Andy Green shifts, goes right over the center dot, flips it to Jagr. Jagr in the corner. Chara shuts down his space. Bergeron from his knees keeps Jagr from getting into the middle, turns and hammers it off the boards to get the puck out. Jagr. Hamilton stabs the puck away from Henrique. Paille gets underneath Larson, hits the brakes. Gomez is the next layer for New Jersey. He uses the Jagr pick. Henrique has Green, the defenseman, on the left wing. Green fires it across the middle. This comes off Hamilton's stick and lobs all the way across the rink and out of play. 5.5 to go in the game. The Bruins in complete control. 2-0 on New Jersey. You asked for cold. Those of you who are building the backyard rinks and shooting the video, and you got it because it's Brick's Backyard Rink Contest presented by Arbella Insurance.
That's right, Jack. Looking for the best backyard rink in New England? Visit NESN.com/rinks to upload a short video that shows off your rink. When I pick the best rink, I'll show up, play some hockey with you and your buddies. So enter now at NESN.com/rinks. Yeah, perfect weather. Perfect weather.
I like the smoked bee out there. I like the dog playing defense. Dennis Seidenberg. Up and out. Merrill whips it over to Zidlicki. On to Havlat's take with Elias on the net drive. It's off a skate. Soderberg goes to a knee. Merrill's wrist shot blocked, and that one sails up and over.
I just don't understand that. If you're Merrill and you're at that left point and Seidenberg gets this puck and he's down below the dot and he's just trying to make a play off the glass and you've already drifted into the neutral zone. You're down by a pair of goals. You got to stand in there.
Take some chances.
You know, I know you don't want to get into bad habits and you take a look over your right shoulder. Maybe you don't have a forward backing you up, so that forces you to back off. But you got to have some communication here if you're New Jersey, and you know, you got to think offense here. You're down to 5 minutes to go.
Gomez and Bergeron jousting. Visitors got to put the stick down first. Neither one does before the drop. Jágr dances along the goal line, tries to wrap around. Here's the follow by Zidlicki. It goes up and over. And this is icing against the Bruins.
Such an advantage to have just the natural gifts, and that is, you know, length and strength. You know, the long stick, the long reach. He's well below the goal line, almost on the opposite side of the net. He's, you know, he's at the halfway point or even almost favoring the original short side, and he's getting a wraparound chance on the far side.
Gomez slides it through the corner. Henrique to Jágr. Jágr the diagonal for Green. Green down low. Gomez to Jágr. A deflection, and Svedberg makes a blocker save. A rebound. Svedberg takes it away from his own post. Chara puts the hammer down on Jágr. Zidlicki gets Svedberg down and out, but Paille blocks the centering pass. Cracks the backhand off the boards and all the way down the ring.
What we're talking about, Zidlicki getting open all the way down below the dot. That's the expectation now for New Jersey.
Camilleri tries to swoop in close. Svedberg holds the short side. The puck probably going wide. Green at the hash mark slaps it through the slot. Larson and Svedberg kicks it out. Marchand loops it forward. Green plays it above shoulder height. And that's playing the puck with a high stick.
Well, after real good body contact by Chara and Jágr, the puck still stays in possession in New Jersey. Good pressure. Short side chance. Henrique keeps it alive. Here comes the hit by Chara and Jágr, but New Jersey stays with it. And now they get a free play to the weak side, but the pass is forward of Zidlicki. He's got to take it with his skates. Doesn't really get that clean look. If that puck's on his forehand, major advantage.
Pastrnak jumps over the line. The wrist shot flips off Larson's stick. It's a can of corn for Corey Schneider, and almost lost in this game is Corey Schneider's work between the pipes for New Jersey. He has been excellent tonight.
Yeah, he's just, you know, he's given his team every opportunity to get themselves into the hockey game. They just haven't done it. Yeah, 13 total shots to this point in the hockey game. It's just not good enough.
Marchand fans on the shot as Havlat had a stick in the lane.
Yeah, and if you're Boston right now, Jack, you're on that bench and you're saying, hey, you know, I got 2 shifts maybe 3 if I'm lucky here, but 2 shifts before this game's all over. I'm going to go out and win each of those shifts as an individual player and do what I'm supposed to do as a teammate.
Krejci out of the zone to Marchand, carries into the New Jersey end. Unmolested all the way down the wing, finds Krejci out near the top of the circle. Here's Zajac through the center circle, gets over the red line and bounces it down the wing.
Yeah, nice play by McQuaid. Recognizes Zajac was going to be all by himself, so he challenged him in the neutral zone and forced the dump in. That's a change of possession, which is what you're looking for.
Soderberg crushes the puck off the boards. This is offside with about 3 minutes to go. Game report brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. Maybe the story of this game in one little nugget: the Bruins had the puck in the attacking zone for 10.5 minutes of the 20-minute first period.
Yeah, good execution, good decision making, and Boston came to play tonight. I don't know what kind of a push they got from New Jersey. It's one of those games where you're trying to figure out, was Boston that dominant or was Jersey more of a no-show? But if you just look at the way the Bruins played, it was all about puck possession in the offensive end. They didn't spend a whole lot of time in their own zone. When they did, the Lays were there very nicely. And outside of maybe a 2.5, 3-minute push at the end of the second period by New Jersey, it's been all Boston.
Larson's one-timer. Soderberg blocks it in the slot. Kelly feeds the puck forward. Riley Smith jumps around Green's check. Larson slides the puck to the far side. 2-2. Cranks it off Soderberg. Seidenberg belts it off the boards. Lucic flattens the puck. As a tumbling muffin down past the dot. Green off the end board. Zidlicki chips it up and out. Seidenberg to McQuaid. The Bruins easily finding teammates in space throughout this game. Green over the spoked B. And the puck flips up and over into the third row. Key play brought to you by your New England Audi dealers on the power play.
Milan Lucic, he looked like a different player the last couple of nights, and gets his feet moving, gets that good lateral mobility, creates a shooting lane. The shots between the posts. Got Char working the front of the net. Pasternak in the high slot, an active Torrey Krug, and a playmaking David Krejci. Makes for a quality power play. You can roll out two real good units, and when everybody's got that execution and the focus, they can be highly effective.
Henrique brings it over to Green. There goes Schneider for the extra skater. The New Jersey net empty. Marchand gets it around Camilleri, but can't get it past Zidlicki. Marchand, a bouncer, a tumbler, and that's going to be icing. 1:39 to go.
Well, that must not have hit Zidlicki then, did it?
Nope.
Pretty good battle, though. Marchand, nice job stopping on the puck. Didn't do a flyby, stayed right with it, challenged. He was all by himself on an island out there dealing with a couple of New Jersey Devils. And with that 2-0 lead, you can take a shot at it.
New Jersey calls a timeout, and Adam Oates goes to the dry erase board. This is where the Bruins stand in the Eastern Conference, trying to be one of the next best teams after the three division leaders, or the top three teams in each division, I should say, automatically qualify for the playoffs. The next two also get in. Toronto has done the Bruins a favor. They have come back to the pack like a rock falling out of a balcony.
You know, even those games that they were winning, you know, it was chance for chance.
Yeah.
And they were hot. They were scoring a ton of goals, so they were winning those types of games. But when the goals don't start going in, and you still play that loose defensive style, then the points don't come with you.
Yeah, and people complain about Claude Julien's approach, conveniently forgetting that the Bruins had the third best offense in the NHL last year. If your defense is solid, you have the chance to win every night. If the defense isn't solid, you better get hot and stay hot. Marchand tries to convince it to get all the way to the goal. We'll never know. Camilleri hammers the puck around through both corners. It comes up to the half boards. Zajac engages with Kelly. Camilleri to the middle of the line. Zidlicki to the half boards. The defenseman all the way to the corner now throws it in front for Elias. Svedberg trying to clamp down on it. Lucic turns away from Camilleri with a minute to go in the game. Zidlicki knocks it down. Bergeron just wants to bunt it out of the zone. And it's ruled that the puck did cross the blue line and came back in. It's offside with 51 seconds to go.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jack, you were making the point about the Bruins and their ability to score goals under Claude Julien, and what you have to do as a coach to evolve as the game changes, and you got to stay right with it, if not ahead of it. And that was in his 8th year now.
Yeah.
Well, the previous 7 years, 5 of those years, 2nd in offense, 8th in offense, 2nd in offense, 10th in offense, third in offense. So it's not just all based entirely on defense. The defense has been even more consistent than the offense, but they score enough goals to win a lot of hockey games.
Yeah, something we're seeing more from Zdeno Chara in the last couple of games, Brick, is that trademark move of his to make the forward think he's got the space and then to stab the stick forward. Is that a sign that the captain is returning to form? Because this has been a long convalescence for him.
It is. It is. It's definitely a sign of that. And the overall play where he puts himself in those comfortable positions and doesn't try to do too much and then have to try to make up for being in positions that really aren't comfortable for him, nor should he be in. So when he just plays his game and lets the game come to him and not force it or chase it, that's when he's at his best, and that's what he's looked like tonight.
In retrospect, how important psychologically was it for him to score on that bomb last night?
Huge, yeah. You know, Bennett scores the first goal. It's a couple of mistakes that he's involved in there. And then to answer the way he did, that you know, I mean, it gets lost in the reporting because of, you know, you win in overtime, and Bergeron gets a pair, and Lucic is a monster. And, you know, that's all great. But that responding goal by Chara was gigantic.
Henrique picks up the indirect pass. Seidenberg tries to keep him outside the house. Green off Kelly's stick. 18 seconds to go. Bergeron's got a shot. Lucic to Bergeron to Lucic. Train number 17 blows its whistle. A couple on the night for Lucic. He's got 8 on the season, and the Bruins will pocket the victory against New Jersey.
Well, it looks good on Milan Lucic the last couple of days, but how about Chris Kelly on this play? I mean, it's pretty to watch what Bergeron and Lucic just bring the puck back and forth on this 2-on-1 against the helpless Andy Green. But it's the stick position, the pressure by Kelly that leads to the turnover. Then there's no panic in his game. He finds a wide open Patrice Bergeron, just doesn't lay it out in the neutral zone or get hungry for a goal himself. Just makes the right play, and Lucic's able to bury it in the empty net.
Well, the axe came down on the New Jersey Devils tonight. And the Bruins have turned a spark into a small flame. Fewest shots allowed since the 30th of November, 2013. And the Bruins have a very professional 3-0 win.
I guess if you really want to rationalize, you can look at it as, well, despite the disappointing feeling of the Toronto, Ottawa, Carolina stretch, points in 6 straight for this club. If you're trying to climb in the standings, this is what you got to do.
And Dale, 4 points in 27 hours. Bruins will gladly take that.
They'll take every single point they can get, Jack. Coming up on Ace Ticket, Bruins Overtime Live. Barry and I ready to break this one down. Another strong effort from the Bruins. Maybe the tide is starting to turn here. Jack and Brick will talk with Claude Julien. Plus, we'll preview Saturday afternoon's game in Philadelphia against the Flyers. Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live is coming up next.